Ever catch yourself just kind of coasting through life, just passing time like you're stuck on autopilot?
Yeah, I get that. It's easy to fall into that trap, especially as we get a little older.
Right. But what if we challenge that whole idea that it's ever too late to shake things up? Go after a dream we maybe put on hold.
Ooh, I like where this is going. It's like hitting the reset button, regardless of age.
Exactly. And that's what we're diving into today, this whole idea that age is really just a number when it comes to starting something new. We've got some amazing stories that I think are going to completely change how you think about what's possible.
I'm all ears. I bet these stories are going to be seriously inspiring.
Oh, they definitely are. Ready to jump in?
Absolutely, let's do it.
Okay, so first up, let's talk about a name everyone knows. Colonel Sanders. I mean, we all know that KFC bucket, right?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Who doesn't love some fried chicken? But there's a story behind the man who built that whole empire.
And it's incredible. Think about it, the guy was 65 years old, not exactly a spring chicken, facing some serious financial struggles. And on top of that, he'd been told no over 1,000 times when he was trying to sell his chicken recipe.
Wow, 1,000 times. That's some serious rejection. Most people would throw in the towel way before that.
Right. But Colonel Sanders, he had this unshakable belief in his idea, kept refining his pitch, figured out how to connect with different people, and you know what? His persistence totally paid off.
Talk about not giving up on your dreams. That's a powerful lesson right there.
It wasn't just blind faith, though. He was strategic. He honed in on what made his chicken unique and then focused on places where he thought folks would love it. Passion plus smarts, that's a winning combo.
Absolutely. And it really highlights something important. Later in life, experience can be a huge advantage. Colonel Sanders knew about flavor, business, and people, things he'd learned over decades. That experience wasn't holding him back. It was what made him successful.
It's like all those years were the training ground for his big break. I love that perspective. Okay, are you ready for another inspiring story?
Bring it on. The more inspiration, the better.
All right, so this one is about a woman named Grandma Moses. Picture this. You spend most of your life on a farm, taking care of chores, the whole 9 yards. Then, at 78 years old, arthritis makes it tough to sew, so what do? You pick up a paintbrush, and bam, you become a world-famous artist.
Wow, that's incredible. What a turn of events, from farm tours to art world icon.
It's amazing, right? And what's really fascinating about Grandma Moses is that she wasn't driven by fame or fortune. She just genuinely loved painting, and that joy really resonated with people all over the world.
It makes you think maybe the most fulfilling paths show up when we just embrace trying new things, especially when those things come from unexpected places.
Absolutely. And it totally blows that myth that there's an age limit on creativity right out of the water. Makes you wonder what hidden talents or passions are waiting for the right moment to, come alive.
You're so right. It's never too late to discover something new about ourselves. Okay, so we've had amazing food and incredible art. What's next?
Well, speaking of defying limitations, have you heard of Fauja Singh? This man started running marathons in his late 80s. He even finished one when he was 100 years old.
Whoa, hold on. Marathons in his 80s and 90s. That's next level incredible.
It's mind-blowing, right? Fauja Singh's story is like a giant testament to what the human body and spirit can do.
Yeah.
It challenges that whole idea that physical decline is just an inevitable part of aging.
It really makes you rethink those assumptions, doesn't it? It's like he's proving that with dedication and a positive mindset, we can push past those perceived boundaries and do things we never thought possible.
Exactly. And his story ties into something we all face, societal expectations. Like there's this unspoken rule book about what we should be doing at different ages. Start a family, climb the career ladder, retire.
It's like these invisible timelines that we feel pressured to follow, and that can be so limiting.
I know, right? It can make us second guess what we truly want and hold us back from actually going after it. So how do we break free from those expectations? Well, that's where things get really interesting. The research we looked at actually offers some really practical tips on how to ditch that just passing time mentality and reclaim that sense of control no matter how old you are.
Okay, now I'm really intrigued. Practical tips, let's hear them.
Mm.
You know what I really appreciate about this research? It doesn't just tell these inspiring stories and leave it at that. It actually gives you concrete steps you can take to change your mindset and embrace possibilities.
It's not just about feeling good. It's about actually doing something.
Exactly. So let's dig into those practical tips. First up, learning. Think about all the things you've always been curious about. Learning a new language, playing an instrument, mastering sourdough bread, anything that sparks your
Oh, I
interest.
love that. Learning new things keeps things interesting, right?
And it keeps your mind sharp, too. Our brains are amazing. They're always adapting and forming new connections. It's called neuroplasticity. So when we challenge ourselves with new skills and information, we're actually keeping our minds agile and engaged.
It's like a workout for your brain. And it's not just about staying mentally fit either. Learning can open up whole new worlds and perspectives.
Totally. It can make you more confident, connect you with people who share your interests, and sometimes even lead to opportunities you never saw coming.
Okay, so learning new things, check. What else have you got?
All right, next tip, start a passion project. This doesn't have to be so.
Like planting a seed and watching it grow,
Mhm.
right? You never know what amazing things might sprout from those first little efforts.
Speaking of growth, let's not forget about moving our bodies. Just because you're getting older doesn't mean you have to become sedentary.
Age is just a number, not an excuse to stop moving.
Exactly. Whether it's yoga, walking, dancing, swimming, or even just taking the stairs instead of the elevator, moving your body keeps you feeling energized and mentally sharp.
I'm all about getting those endorphins flowing. It just makes you feel good.
It's funny though, right? How we often connect physical activity with limitations as we get older.
Yeah, like our bodies can't do the things they used to.
But really, moving our bodies is about celebrating what they can do, honoring ourselves, and staying connected to our physical well-being.
It's about feeling alive and capable. I love that. What else do we have on our list of tips?
Well, here's one that might surprise you sharing your experiences. Think about all the knowledge and wisdom you've gained over the years.
Ooh, yeah, those life lessons are valuable.
Right. Whether it's mentoring someone younger, volunteering in your community, or even just being present for your loved ones, sharing your time and insights can be incredibly rewarding.
It's easy to forget how much we have to offer.
Absolutely. We often underestimate the impact of our own stories, but sharing them can really inspire others and create connections between generations. It's a good reminder that we all have something important to contribute, no matter our age.
Sharing stories, building connections. I like it. So is there anything else we can do to sort of reframe our thinking about age?
Well, there's a really powerful shift in perspective that I think is key here. Instead of saying, I'm too old, try saying, I have more experience than ever before.
I love that. It's like flipping the script.
Right.
Yeah.
And instead of asking, what's the point,
hmm
try asking, what exciting new things can I create today? It's all about taking those limiting beliefs and turning them into opportunities.
It's about seeing the possibilities instead of the limitations. So much of this is about how we talk to ourselves.
It's true. The way we frame things makes a huge difference.
So after hearing all these incredible stories and practical tips, is there one thing that comes to mind for you, something you've always wanted to do but haven't started yet?
It's like, time to stop just dreaming and start actually doing. Take that goal that's been on the back burner and crank up the heat, right?
Yeah, make it happen. Think about those folks we talked about, Colonel Sanders, Grandma Moses, Fauja Singh. They didn't achieve those amazing things overnight. It all started with one single step, one decision to go after what they loved.
And that's what trips so many of us up. We get totally overwhelmed by this big, huge goal. All those hows get in the way.
It's like staring up at a mountain thinking, how am I going to climb that whole thing?
Exactly. But the secret is you don't have to climb the whole thing at once. Just focus on finding that first foothold.
Just that one little step. Break it down into something manageable.
And here's the thing. Once you start taking those small steps, you build momentum. And suddenly, the path ahead becomes a little bit clearer.
It's like that first step unlocks this whole chain reaction. It opens up new opportunities, gives you insights you didn't even know you needed.
So true. All right, let's make this real. What's one tiny action you can take today to move towards that thing you've always wanted to do?
Think small. Maybe it's doing some research on that online course you've been eyeing, or dusting off that old guitar in the closet.
Or even just writing your goal down and putting it somewhere you'll see it every single day. That visual reminder can be so powerful.
It's all about shifting from someday to today. It's taking control and realizing that you have the power to make things happen.
This whole deep dive wasn't just about telling you these inspiring stories. It was about giving you permission to create your own.
It's about showing you that it's never too late to start something new, to keep learning and growing, to chase those dreams that you've been holding on to. If those folks we talked about could do it, why not you?
What really gets me is that each of these stories represents this spark, a spark of passion, of resilience, and this refusal to let age determine what's possible. And those sparks They're within each of us, just waiting to be ignited.
So go out there and ignite your spark. Don't wait for the perfect time, because it'll never come. Don't
Mhm.
let fear hold you back. Start today, even if it's just a tiny little step, and watch what happens. That's how the most incredible chapters of your story get written.